All right, we are back at it, the JT&DRE Show. Hope everyone is doing well today. Brother Dre here, and the great, legendary, iconic JT. What's up, Pimpin'?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Doing great, man. Doing great. I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
3 to 5 things people need to hear but don't want to hear in business and life in general.
Okay. So man, 3 to 5 things people need to hear in business or life in general, right? So first and
Mhm.
foremost, I want to frame this by saying that, hey, this is not an attack at anybody. These are things that I'm working on as well. The first thing is that we have to be okay with failing. So a lot of
Mm.
people, especially as it relates to entrepreneurship, investing, or whatever, so many people are so afraid to get scammed or fail or have anything negative happen or feel like, oh, I'm starting over, that's going to impede your greatness. So highly successful people make mistakes, fail, get scammed. Man, shoot, I'm a multimillionaire. I got scammed out of, I would say, rough estimate, $300,000, right?
Whoa.
From the time that I started business till now, yeah, at least $300,000 just from investing in mentorship, partnerships, trying to do stuff on my own that didn't work out. So not everything I invested in was a scam, obviously, but that happens to everybody. So man, what a mentor told me early on is he was saying that if you want an exceptional life, you're gonna have to take risks. So a scam just means that sometimes it costs a mistake. So that's what he said, because he was like he's been there as well. But first thing on the list is that I would for sure say we have to get over our fear of failing, being embarrassed, make a mistake. If your goal in life is not worth somebody picking at you or being embarrassed about it because you didn't get it right the first time, your goal too small anyway, right? So that's the first thing that I would say, right? The second thing that I would say is that you need to build a team around you as quickly as possible, as quickly
Mm.
as possible, right? So I used to say that my weakest part of my business was HR, right? I was worried about, I don't know how to hire people, how to train people. I don't have the money to hire the people. And I, you could build this mindset that creates a wall for yourself that prevents you from scaling. So if you say, I can't afford to hire somebody, I can't afford to pay a mentor, I can't afford to go to that conference or do this or do that, 100% is true, but not because it's a universal truth. It's because it's a mental construct that you put in the way of your own success. So if you get around the right people, they can teach you the frameworks. So that way, how do you hire people, like literally when you don't have any money? Now, of course, I'm not recommending that, oh, you intentionally try to put yourself in bad situations. But if we just think about it, you don't know if your employer has the money to pay you until 2 weeks after you did the work.
Hmm.
So my uncle is in Charleston, South Carolina. He owns a construction company. They build houses and work on commercial, blah, 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 right? So on average, in 30 days, they can build a house. So they can go from nothing but raw land to a finished house in 30 days. So if my uncle hires me, you, anybody today and works them for 2 weeks, the house already halfway done. He's already going to get some compensation. They call it a draw in that industry, but he's already going to get paid for the work that you did over the past 2 weeks. And not trying to downplay anybody's greatness looking at this video or listening to this podcast, but I doubt that they're paying you half of what a house costs every 2 weeks. So whatever work you do is going to generate enough profit where it's going to pay for you and leave him some left over. So that framework can apply to whether you're doing an online digital business, whether you're doing a physical general contracting business, or whatever other businesses out there. Is we have to focus on, okay, I don't have the money, but money is a byproduct, right? Do I have value? Do I have leverage? With value and leverage, I can create opportunities, and those opportunities will yield me money. So we gotta get a team, right? One more thing on the team, and then we'll go to the third one. Is that like a team allows you to go further faster, right? So let's say, for example, if I'm somebody out there and I'm trying to build a house by myself, since that's the example that we started off with, right? So, man, if I'm building a house by myself, it might take me 6 months, 8 months, a year, or longer, depending on my knowledge and my abilities to build a house, right? But with a team, like I said, man, my uncle has a team of people that, hey, in 30 days or less, the only way your house not gonna be built is if you don't have the money. But of course, they're gonna get a mortgage or whatever. So, man, for sure, a team can allow you to do something in a month that would take somebody else 6, 12, 18 months or longer to do. So we just got to learn how to create those environments, right? Third is something personal to me, but it can benefit everybody, right? So no matter what you're focused on right now, making more money, having better relationships, whatever, right? Health is something that is a non-negotiable. So just being transparent, I tell people this all the time. Early on, right? I discounted the value of my health because I was in such great shape, right? I graduated high school at like 150 pounds. And then I went to the Marines, and of course, I got bigger, but I was, muscular bigger, right? So, like, I never had a problem with being out of shape or anything like that. So, I kind of took it for granted because I always had it. And then when I got into entrepreneurship, I didn't always have money. When I first got into it, I never had money. So I said, you know what? Like, I'm willing to pay whatever it costs to become rich, wealthy, whatever your goal is, right? So I'm willing to go all in. I'm not caring about sleep. I'm not caring about what I eat, whatever's quick and convenient. I'm not caring about any kind of relationships. Like, I'm just trying to go all in on learning and doing business. And while it did yield some success, guess what I'm finding myself doing now that I've got the financial success that I want? I'm going right back around and saying, hey, look, man, like, hey, I gotta get a nutritionist, personal trainer. Even though I got the money to buy any kind of food that I want, right? I still gotta choose to get the salad when I can get the steak big as my back, right? And you will hear certain people that won't admit that, hey, one of the hindrances to your success, either getting there or once you get there, getting to the next level, will be physical health. Now, I'm not saying like some people will be like, well, I don't trust anybody that's not in great shape, right? To tell me about, making money or whatever. I'm not going to that extreme, right? Because if you give somebody unlimited resources, or what to them feels like more resources than they ever could imagine having, right? And now they're not displaying self-control in all areas of their life. They just human. So that's just being a human to me, right? It's easy to be 120 pounds when you only make $500 a month and you live in Atlanta, right? So it's like, man, okay, well, that makes sense, right? But give that person $500,000 a month, right? And that same person might look like they need to be on the episode of My 600 Pound Life, just because they never had that many resources. Where if they want to go here, they want to do this, they want to indulge in anything, right? Money ain't a thing, like Jermaine Dupri said, right? So those will be my top three, though, for sure. Is don't be afraid to fail, get a team as soon as possible. Your physical health has a positive or negative impact on every other aspect of your life, whether that is your wealth, your relationships, or anything else you're trying to do. Uh-oh, I can't hear you if you can hear me.
Good.
I,
Uh, Three things that people need to hear but don't want to hear. Number one, you're probably being cheap.
yep.
And I mean it exactly how it is. You're probably being cheap. Expecting people to pay you, but you don't want to pay people, has to be some kind of chemical or mental deficiency. It it's the exact opposite of the law of nature.
Mhm.
You want to get, but you don't want to give, or fair exchange of value. Stop being cheap. And I'm very aware people have different budgets. I've been through all the ringers in financial life. Just trust me. You might have to do some Lyft, DoorDash, side business over time to get to that next level. So people hit a hump, a block. And some people say, okay, I ain't got it. Maybe it's a credit card, maybe it's extra work, whatever. But some people just stay at that block and say, this is my limit. Some people say, okay, this is where I'm at. I got to just kick the block in, kick it over.
Mm-hmm.
Being cheap will literally hold you back. It holds you back mentally and financially. So that's number one, being cheap. Number two is ego. It shocks me how many people feel the need to be right rather than make advances. It's literally shocking. People li- Being right has a higher art hierarchy of need for people than making progress. It's mind-boggling, but that has to be dropped too. Number three, um, this they aren't around people who are obtaining what they want to obtain, so they think it's not possible. They aren't around people who are doing what they want to do, so their faith wanes very easily.
Mm-hmm.
You're about to drive 3 to 4 hours,
Yep.
pay $1,000 plus
Yep.
to learn what might be on YouTube, it might be on ChatGPT, but you aren't chancing it. You're
Yep.
going to pay the 1,000.
Yep.
That's just for the ticket. You might even buy an upsell there too.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing you, you will.
Yep.
You're gonna get an Airbnb
Yep.
and do all this stuff because there's an extra level that you know is out there that you aren't at.
Oh yeah.
Now, for some people, that 1,000 in their life might be 500 or might be 50.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let it stop you. Figure out a way because doing one, two, if you have five things to do, but you only do, but if you have five things to do, but you stop at three, but you want the results of the five, it literally doesn't work.
Yep.
So those are three things that I think I see that people are letting hinder their growth in their business. And I just implore, because I can see it, because when you've been around so long, you can just see things. I'm like, no, no, you just need to do this. Literally, just, I know you don't want to pay. Nobody wants to pay, but there's no way around it.
Yep.
Um,
And I mean, unfortunately, what my uncle has been telling me this for years, and I've been trying to fight it, but it keeps circling the back round, is that some people aren't in enough pain. Literally, there's
Woo!
even people that will, part of their sales process is they'll make the pain bigger. So they'll go deep on, okay, why do you even want this transformation or whatever? Because I do think that it's a difference between, okay, I would like to do this, and oh, my life depends on this. And if your life depends on this, you're going to do it because you want to live, right? And I
Mm,
think that a lot of people, they look at somebody that's making more money, and because that person doesn't live like, hey, my life depends on this, right? They don't understand that that's how it started though. I don't
yeah.
know any high level entrepreneurs that at one point or another, maybe even currently, but at least in the past, they were willing to say, you know what, I'm willing to bet everything on this. I'm not holding nothing back. I'm not going, okay, well, I'm a still keep this little job over here as a just in case thing, right? Even though the business is booming, it might stop booming in 6, 12, 18 months, right? So the people I know that made the most money, and just the frame it, right? I know people that they not scamming, not selling no drugs, not doing anything illegal, and they're doing $1 to $2 million a month, right? Now, so that's, if you know somebody richer than that, then hey, that's great. But those people that I know, man, they went all in on what they believed in. And this is the funny part, right? Because I'm privileged to know these gentlemen, right? They'll tell you behind closed doors, this was the scariest thing I ever did. I had to borrow $300,000 just to do this. And then you'll say, well,
Mm,
why did you borrow $300,000 to do it if you like didn't want to do it, or if you were scared to do it? They were saying because I was more afraid of if I didn't do it and I stayed the same. And then, I find out later on in life, okay, you know what, such and such did it. Right? Yeah, I thought it was
Yeah.
crazy. I thought it was something that didn't make any sense. Such and such did it. And now, man, such and such is light years ahead of me because I was afraid. One more note that I want to pass it to you, Dre, too, is that I grew up with a whole lot of stereotypes, right? So I
Hmm.
don't want to offend any person that's watching this, but I was raised that black meant broke, right? Not saying that it's right, but that's what
Woo.
I was raised. I was raised that black meant broke. I was raised that, the only people that can get new cars is either white men or people that's friends with white men. And I was raised in the deep South, South Carolina, right? All the money was in the possession of Jewish people, to be specific, and Indian people owned all of the stores, right?
Yep.
So as I became an adult, right, I started seeing inconsistencies in my experiences as it relates to my teachings. So not that my mom, grandma, whoever raised me was trying to maliciously mislead me. That was the reality of their situation, and they imposed their beliefs on me. But as I went and joined the military, as I went and moved around a little bit, as I went on vacation different places that they never would have went, right? I started noticing that there's some inconsistencies between what you said and what I'm seeing when I'm in the United States Marine Corps and my sergeant owns 4 McDonald's. And I'm like, bro,
Mm.
don't nobody, your name not McDonald, right? That's how green I was when I joined the military at the high school. Like, man, your last name ain't even McDonald. So how do you own a McDonald's? I didn't understand the concept of a franchise, but he was like, man, yeah. So my dad and his partners got together and they made an investment group and they started pooling their money together. They made a corporation and they bought 1 McDonald's, and then they reinvested the profits and bought two, three. Now they got 4 McDonald's, right? And he was like, man, yeah, like that's so. I was like, if your family owns or part owns several McDonald's and y'all constantly growing, why you here with me, right? Why you here with us field workers, right? So he was like, well, he was like, man, well, that's part of the legacy of my family, which was the same reason why I joined as well. My daddy, my uncles, my older brother, I joined. My baby brother joined as well. If I ever have a son, he gonna join, right? So that being said, um, man, he was like, yeah, like this is just a legacy move for our family. I didn't come here to better my financial situation. Actually, my financial situation was better before I got here. So all of that to say is that I did the deep dive once I met this brother while I was in the United States Marine Corps, and I found out and actually interviewed some Jewish people and some Indian people. I'm talking about from the country of India, not Native Americans. One gentleman was by the name of Mr. Patel, and he said that his spiritual belief, and I got the same message in so many words from the Jewish gentleman as well, right? They believe that at the end of their life, they're going to be judged based off of how they were stewards over everything God gave them. If God gave you a wife, how did you treat that wife? If God gave you
Mm.
kids, how did you treat those kids? If God gave you opportunities, what did you do with those opportunities? So not just so much, oh, you didn't become a millionaire, so now God is going to cast you to hell. Is if God blessed you with an opportunity, even if that opportunity was to get 60,000 a year, did you take advantage of that? Right? And then he went a step further. He said, man, well, and some of us believe that if you don't teach your children how to make money independent of a job, then you'll be punished for that at the end of your life. And I was like, well, why? He was like, well, okay, what we believe is that if you don't teach your kids how to make their own money, you leave them with two options. Either they have to do something illegal to make money, because you didn't teach them a legal way to make money without a job, or they got to go get a job that leaves them subjective to whatever treatment that employer wants to give them. If that employer wants to talk to them crazy, if that employer wants to make them work late and weekends, if the employer wants to make them do manual labor that slowly deteriorates their physical body, right? So they were saying that if all your kids know how to do is go get a job or try to go do their own thing illegally, right? You're going to be held accountable because God bless you with those kids and you didn't prepare those kids to be able to take care of themselves independent of a job or doing something illegal. Now, I'm not here to say that religiously you got to agree with that because I'm not Hindu and I'm not Jewish. But there's certain beliefs that independent of not talking about your spiritual beliefs, I'm talking about just moral, ethical beliefs that we can all apply regardless of what religion you are. So I think morally and ethically, I adopted the belief, and it's because I believe that morally and ethically that is true, right? How many people here have worked a job and either from the co-workers, the management, the customers, somebody had did something to you, said something to you that you know like that's not acceptable. Like you can't treat me this way, you can't talk to me this way, you can't, cause me mental, physical, or emotional harm in this way, but I got rent, I got kids, I got insurance, I got graduation coming up, right? So I gotta endure this treatment because I have no other viable way to take care of myself, right? I was
Mm,
unable to walk for like 4 or 5 days this past week. I injured my foot, right?
well,
Even laid up for 4 or 5 days, we still made $2,700. Now,
ooh,
$2,700 ain't, oh, I can't go get a Lamborghini with $2,700. But how many people, if you injured your foot to the point where you couldn't put any weight on it, you can't go to work, you can't even put a shoe on, right? How would you still be able to make at least enough money to cover your bills, take care of your kids, do whatever you need to do in that time, right? So, man, I want to pass it over to you, Dre. Get your thoughts on that as well. First, am I crazy, Dre? Go ahead, and let me know if you think I'm crazy, right? If if you have children, or and I'm going to even expand it out, if God blesses you with a network of people that gravitate to you, whether you call them family members, friends, or followers, and you choose to not serve those people by giving them the opportunity to better themselves in any way based off of the information God blessed you with, right? Is that not an unethical or immoral move? I'm not saying spiritually you gonna go to
yeah.
hell. I'm just saying, is that not unethical or immoral?
I think it's unethical,
Yep.
but people have to prepare themselves that the people who they are closest to probably won't listen to them.
Yep.
Just on a numbers percentage basis over the years. The people who you are trying to put on, don't even, if you do it for free, it's definitely over. They're not going to listen. If you if you have a training and it's free, the chances of them listening are very, very slim. So yes, you should try, but you sometimes we're empaths. So we absorb the fact that the people who need help, who we're trying to help, aren't listening to us. Now we're depressed.
Mhm.
Now we feel useless. Now we feel like just crap because we see them hurting. We have a result. Then I go through with it. Yes, so try, but don't let your self-esteem stay stuck on the fact. Don't let your self-esteem go down because if they don't follow through on what you're going to give them. So I have a saying that I use, JT. It's called "Do your best and leave the rest."
Yep.
Put out your effort, but don't try to drag anybody because somebody needs you. And if your energy is down because you gave it all away, the person who actually needs your energy isn't going to take you up on that offer. So that's my thing. So you're driving to an event,
Yep.
spending the money to go to the event.
Yep.
I would like for people to know how you and I both pick the events we go to, how we find coaches, consultants, conferences. Are we going for the information? Are we going for the people who we meet there? A little bit of both. I'll go first. So
First.
I go to Afrotech. Not every year, but I've been there. So I went to Houston. I didn't go to Austin. Went to San Francisco twice.
Has it already happened this year?
No, it's in November. You should go. It's a lot of fun. End of
Oh,
October. It's gonna be end of October this year. I actually got a press pass a few years.
oh,
I felt really cool in the press room with the press pass and everything.
oh.
So I go for the energy for that conference in particular. I go for the energy. I meet great people. I meet, I guess what you call my people, black entrepreneurial tech enthusiasts per se, and it's just a lot of fun. You know, like the party. The parties look great. Um, and I don't even watch most of the conference. I'm talking to people, getting interviews. We interviewed the governor. Well, yeah, it was small. It was the press team interviewed the governor from Maryland last year. That was really dope. He's a really good brother. So sometimes it's for the sit down information, pen and pad, iPad out notes. Sometimes it's to meet the people for the energy. But I know this. Once I started going, JT, to paid conferences out of state, my confidence went up, my self-esteem went up, my self-belief went up, and my eyes opened. Like people are making 50,000 a month. People are selling companies that they built 18 months ago for $10 million. Like, what the hell? Because this is part of the ego thing, JT. We think that we know it all.
Yep.
We know, like, no, I got this. I know this. No, you don't. Once you are always open to learning, always open to being wrong, always open to just not thinking you know everything, the world opens. I'm like, yo, I don't know if you know Michael Siebel. You ever heard of Michael Siebel?
Nah.
He is one of the founders of Y Combinator. Have you heard of Y Combinator?
Yeah, I heard of that before. Yep.
Yeah, so for anyone who doesn't know, Y Combinator is probably the largest incubator for business ideas from startup to launch, maybe in the country, top five, top 10. So he was there. I never heard of him. He's somebody who probably doesn't want to be famous, who probably could if he wanted to, but and and Y Combinator's companies that started in Y Combinator are Airbnb, Stripe, Instacart, just to name three. So just to give you guys some context. And I met this guy. I was like, "Yo, he's freaking brilliant." I didn't even know these things were out there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm all about going, paying, sometimes information, sometimes the networking, sometimes the party, but I do identify a need before I even go to these events. So why is JT who makes, let's just say you make 50 a month. Maybe you make more, maybe you make less. Well, I don't think you make less. But let's just say you make 50 a month. This event in particular, why are you going?
Yep. So I understand that there's certain skill sets that will allow you to get to the next level. One of those skill sets is speaking. How well can you articulate your ideas to
Mm,
somebody to make them understand, agree, and want to help you get whatever it is that you're trying to get? And even if you're trying to help them get what they want to get, you got to be able to articulate that action in a real way. So I'm going to this particular event because it is a gentleman that has helped my friend make over $400,000 a month just off of a 90-minute speech. So I'm like, man, if you can show me a 90-minute speech that if you give it to the right people the right way at the right time can generate you hundreds of thousands of dollars, hey, I need to know what that framework is. Right, because of course any of us can learn how to grow on social media, learn how to run ads and get people to show up to our webinars or our 5-day challenge, our in-person meetups or whatever it is that you do. But once you got the people there, how do you articulate an idea so persuasively that they can't wait to pay you to buy your product, your service, connect with you, partner with you, or whatever you're trying to do? So because this gentleman has a proven track record, I'm tapping in with him. But in general, right, I think that you should go to I would say 90-10. 90% of the events you go to should be selfish, niche specific events for your industry. So I'll give you guys an example of one of the conferences that I'm not going to make it to this year because I have something else planned around that same time, but I plan on going into it like every year. It's called FinCon. FinCon.
Mm.
So FinCon is a financial literacy conference for financial literacy content creators. If you're not a financial literacy content creator, you probably wouldn't enjoy FinCon at all, right? So, but when I go to FinCon, I see the biggest people on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok that make the content about financial literacy. So while there ain't a whole lot of fans there, because you'll be bored yourself to sleep, but if you wanted to network in person as a financial literacy content creator, whether you have 0 followers or 10 million followers, you come to FinCon and you go network, right? Everybody, there's no ego there. Well, the times that I went, no ego there. Everybody is willing to introduce themselves, take a picture with you, talk with you for a few minutes, right? And it's just an overall great time being there, right? So I would say that if I was whatever your niche is, I would go on Google. I would look for trade shows, conferences, events, anything like that related to your event. And I'll tell you how I found FinCon. I went to another event called InvestFest in Atlanta, and FinCon had a booth at InvestFest. So
Mm.
what I want you to know is that you don't even have to know all of the answers. I found one conference. I'm like, well, I'm gonna just go to this one. And at that conference, I met some great people and then found out about this other conference, right? I go to this other conference, right? And network with other people. Man, just those relationships alone have made me multiple six figures just by going to events. So I would say 9 out of 10 of the conferences that you go to, right, need to be something that, hey, if you're a notary, is there anything specific for mobile notaries? And then 10% should be general growth of business conferences. So if this is like the number one conference for people that are trying to grow their business to a million, 5 million, 10 million, right? Even if it has nothing to do with being a notary, it's just all about systems, growth, software, whatever. I would go to them just because that is going to give you a strategic advantage. If everybody knows, okay, well, here's the new thing that's coming down the pipeline with the algorithm, so let's start making content like that. Okay, that's great to know too. But if I also need to know, well, a business in general, people that are building these great big old companies, right? They're now looking at, and I'm just making this up, not advice. They're looking at blockchain technology. They looking at artificial intelligence. They now have companies that exist that I never even heard of before unless I went to this conference that's now saying, hey, look, hey, boom, here's this opportunity that you would have never even known existed if you've been there. So I would say go to conferences, events, networking events that are for your industry 9 times out of 10. Build up the skill sets your weekend. And if you don't have the money, that is a problem that you have to fix. It's not an excuse, right? There's a great book out there called Profit First. I didn't write it, so I don't get no money if you buy it. It's just great information. It's going to teach you the 5 banking account systems, right? So listen to that book on YouTube, on Audible, go buy it, read it. But man, a portion of all of the money that I make, just like you set aside money for taxes, just like you want to take a portion of that money for profit, I set up aside a portion of that money for growth, right? That's part of my operations is growing. So I need to be able to hire people. I need to be able to go to these conferences, right? So it's not like, oh man, I want to come to Atlanta and go to this conference. Man, let me try to go give some blood or sell all of my belongings so I could get an Airbnb. No, I've been planning on this before I even knew this opportunity existed. So you should always just be putting a portion of money to the side and say, hey, when an opportunity comes, I'm going to have the ability to sow that seed wherever that might be.
And speaking of fintech, so fintech it has their own conference. They paid paid money, as we said earlier, to have a booth at another conference, or aka bigger conference.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people who have their own thing, they won't do that. Back to the ego thing, JT.
Yep.
They paid to get in a room at a conference to promote their conference.
Yep.
It's these patterns of belief, and you went. So obviously, their investment there paid off. Because I'm sure you're not the only one who went from there.
Oh yeah.
It's these patterns that are universal, that typically work, that people do who make advancements.
Mm-hmm.
How can I get in front of people who I want to pay me? What do I got to do? Is it pay to get on a podcast? Is it have my own workshop? Is it go to someone else's? It's just the law of life. And you said something earlier. You said that you've lost money. I was ripped off by somebody who I knew,
Oh.
and I was surprised. So someone said if somebody can help me do X, Y, Z, they'll pay a referral fee of X, Y, Z. Was able to get it done, and the person hicked me. And this is someone who I helped their business, who I helped them with this thing, but I'm not going to stop helping people. I'm not going to stop doing business. I have a mixer this Saturday. If anyone sees this Saturday, July 19th, I'll put the info below. Come on out, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. It's going to be a lot of fun. The show doesn't stop when someone does you wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And you acting like people won't do you wrong, it's nice, but let's just call it what it is. The world is the world. Fortunately, there are more ethical people than non-ethical people.
Yep.
There are more ethical people who thrive off of doing the right thing than not. So if
Mm-hmm.
someone's worried about being scammed or this and that, and let's go back to the scam thing.
Yep.
Most people scam themselves because they don't follow through, they
Mm-hmm.
don't listen, they don't open the product, so they don't even get to the point of getting scammed. Are you scamming yourself?
Oh
But
yeah.
most people are ethical people. They're good people. We just have to just take what comes along with it. You said that you've had 10, $20,000 mentorships that were bad. You've had
Yep.
three, $5,000 mentorships that were great. This
Mm-hmm.
is this is life. We have to just bounce back and keep on going. But we can't let a bad situation hinder us from. We can't let a bad 300 stop us from making 300,000.
Oh yeah.
We have to keep reinventing ourselves, reinventing our energy, and know that I'm telling you guys this: once you fully embrace that you do not have all the answers and you are okay with it, watch how your life expands because now you're hungry again.
Yep.
Now you're in that startup mode where you're bouncing. You got that edge. You got that edge back. Stay there. JT, any last questions? Are you doing an in-person pop-up in your time visiting?
Yeah, well, we don't have a date set for anyone yet, but of course, like I want to eventually have one at least once a quarter. So
Okay.
we did one previously. Well, we did several previously, but I'm talking about this year we already did one. So yeah, we're still working out the logistics of it. I don't know if we want to do the same thing 4 times a year. If you in a major city like Atlanta or LA, you can because there's so many new people. But we might switch it up and do different things at different times of the year that's relevant. So yeah, I do plan on doing some more, and I'll just keep the world posted as to when we're doing our next one. All right.
Oh.
But well, you said something that was powerful as well too, is that so are you scamming yourself? And I heard a gentleman when I was early on in my entrepreneurial journey, I was listening to everybody: Tony Robbins, Gary Vaynerchuk, Ray Dalio, what's our other guy? Dave Ramsey, right? All of the ones that everybody heard of before. I stumbled across a brother by the name of Les Brown, and it was just something about sounded like a preacher when he talked. So I really gravitated to him early on. And one of his speeches, he said that people will choose known hells over unknown heavens. And
Hold on. Say
yep,
that again.
yep. So people will choose known hells over unknown heavens.
Woo!
Something that I heard Les Brown say years ago, and it stuck with me ever since. And I've seen that time and time again where you're not happy where you are, but you're not willing to sacrifice your present on the altar of your future. So I want you to know that,
Mm.
hey, look, everything that you want may cost everything that you are today. So you trying to hold on to food stamps and trying to make $10,000 a month is probably part of the reason why it's so hard for you to make $10,000 a month, right? There's some kind of psychological hindrance there, right? You trying to make $1 million in a year, but you still worried about getting your income tax, right? You still worried about, man, is there a sale going on at, your favorite clothing boutique? All right. So you might have to fundamentally change who you are and understand that, right? Are you going to choose a known hell, right? Hell just representing a place you don't want to be over an
Mhm.
unknown heaven. Well, I don't know what it'll be like. What if it
Or
don't work, right?
JT, let
Go
me
ahead.
interrupt you for a second.
Go ahead.
Or the best one is this. Oh, like you're gonna pay somebody $1,000. Oh, they're gonna make $1,000 off me. If they have 30 people there, then they made $30,000. I don't feel comfortable with that.
Oh yeah, man. I don't care how much money you make. This is the thing, though, right? Okay, when you go to Walmart, this is what I don't like about our people, because I see this a lot with low income people, or let's just lots of times see with African American people, right?
Yeah,
We don't
yeah.
go to Walmart and say, well, the Walton family about to make 200, 300, $500 off of me today. Man, we don't go to
Harvard
McDonald's
or
and Ray
Yale.
Kroc and all of those people, or whoever owns it now since they passed away, right? But we never worried about who making money anywhere else until it's us,
Yeah.
right? We don't care
We
how
counted every
rich,
penny.
yeah, we don't care how rich Phil Knight is. We gonna go buy some Nikes, right? We don't care what how many billions anybody else have, right? That's co-owner or high level up with Chick-fil-A. I'ma still go get that chicken sandwich. I'ma still go get those nuggets. So it's that's a crab in a bucket mentality, right?
Mhm.
You will go out like this is what get me. The person that says that is wearing a designer outfit. They got on name brand clothes, right? They driving a Toyota, right? So like, man, you not worried about who got rich off of any of the other money that you spent until it's somebody that look like you. Now, I'm not telling you to just let somebody take advantage of you. I'm telling you, give that man, that woman, that business owner the same opportunity you gave Walmart. Hey, as long as I value these apples more than I value the money you charge me for these apples, I don't care if you sell 1 million bags of apples today, Walmart. I just want my apples, right? Because these
Bingo.
apples to me is worth more than the money I gave you for the apples, right?
Hmm.
So if I go to a conference and I pay him $1,000, I seen this gentleman close a room and make $400,000 off the room, right? $10,000 offer, 40 people said yes. Room had 600 people in, right? So it was, of course, a virtual room, right? But virtual room, 600 people, 40 people said yes to $10,000, right? In one day, in a 90-minute presentation, 400,000, right? Will you not give what? Let's say I'm half as good. Matter of fact, let's say I'm 10% as good as him, right? Because some people will get in their mind, well, you could do that, Dre. You could do that, JT. We all humans, but to even address your pessimism, address your lack of faith in yourself, even if I am 1/10 of the man that this guy is after I get his information. I spent 1,000. I can now go make an extra 40,000. If he can make 400 and I can make an extra 40, right? If like, let's just be real, right? So if I say, hey Dre, for every $1,000 you give me, I count out 40,000 and give it back to you, right? Like that's all we doing. Hey, for every $1,000 you give me, I count out 40,000. I give it back to you, right? Any logical person is like, well, I'm gonna give you all of my $1,000 and just give me 40x whatever it is, right?
Is that real money in your hands?
Nah, not this money. Nah,
Okay.
we got. Hold on though. No cap in our rap though. Yeah, like yeah, we got a little bit of real money here. Yeah, so yeah, that's prop money. Yeah, I ain't one of them influencers that a lot. We do skits and stuff and like money making skits.
Yeah.
Sometimes we be out and about like we might be at the mall or something. You don't want to go in the mall with real money and do skits and stuff.
Yeah,
But yeah, but
I
this right
got
here, yeah, what Boosie say? Find $1. I ain't gonna say that. Like,
you.
but yeah, we got real money. Yeah,
Shout out to
just a little
JT.
bit. But yeah,
Shout,
but yeah, that's like when we go into events or like whatever. I might even bring some of that to your event, and we just talk about money and stuff with it. So yep, yep,
all
yep.
right, let's do it. So it's on July 19th, address below, Ponce City area. Come on out, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're and if you are a podcaster, influencer, bring your camera, bring your mic. We'll do a little, so many interviews there. Great
Yeah.
content. So
Man, I'm
JT, appreciate
interviewing
you.
as many people as I can before I leave. If you show up to Dre event, man, I'm doing as many interviews,
What?
right? Yeah, for your channel, man. Like as
That's
many as
worth,
I can. I ain't gonna say I can do all of them, so come early, right?
man. That's worth $10,000 right there.
Yeah, come
JT,
early.
appreciate your time, brother.
All
I'll
right,
see you in a few days.
all right, bro.
All right, peace.
Oh, stop it, Dre. Just I want to ask you something before